Hello, I'm Emmett Holman. As of 2016, retired from the philosophy department at George Mason University, and I'm going to be teaching a course, the full title of which is Reason, Science, and Natural Religion in the Modern Age. By the modern age, I mean roughly from 1500 on. Now, why that time frame? What's so special about that time frame? Well, as you might expect, the answer to that question is pretty complicated, but for our purposes, we're going to be focusing on what's come to be known as the scientific revolution, arguably the greatest intellectual revolution in human history, a revolution that has had a huge impact on the world in a number of different ways. In this course, we're going to be focusing on an intellectual, cultural impact that it's had, and in particular, the impact it's had on the viability of a religious worldview. On the face of it, it seems to have had a negative impact. So, surveys of American scientists throughout the 20th century consistently showed that a disproportionately large number of such scientists are atheists. A more recent survey of philosophers has yielded the same results. And I think it's fair to say this is true of intellectuals in general. Now, what we're going to be dealing with in this course is whether or not that religious skepticism is warranted. And this brings us to what's called natural religion, which is an attempt to establish religious conclusions on the basis of our knowledge of how the natural world works. Many people think that based on that knowledge, this kind of skepticism about a religious worldview is warranted. But there have been some prominent dissenters that have argued that given the well-designed nature of the laws of nature, that points to a cosmic designer or creator. What we'll be doing in this course is looking at what some of the scientific and philosophical heavyweights in the modern age have had to say on this. So there will be a fair amount of reading in the course, most of which will be posted on the Encore Learning website. But as I mentioned in the course catalog description, there's one book by David Hume that I strongly urge you to buy. I'll send along all that information again on the course syllabus that I plan to email you maybe a couple of weeks before the course starts. Now, based on that reading, I'll put together a series of lectures, but I will encourage you to ask questions, offer comments, engage in discussion. So the result will be a kind of combination of lecture discussion format. So that's the course. I hope to see a lot of you there. In the meantime, have a good new year.